Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we're going to be diving back into the mystery of Gavin, Gavin's friend, and some new details that have actually been found regarding this entire story. So the other day, I got a message on Facebook from a user, Conrade Grant, who said, found a picture of Gavin, I think he meant to say Gavin, using the glitch on the random house. And he actually told me where this was. He said it was in Rhodes, and you guys can kind of see the photo right there. So big thanks to him for suggesting that I check this out. I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel in the description. So in case you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, which I'm sure you do, there is a special character in-game who is roaming around either Rhodes or Saint Denis, or can be found in a multitude of different places, and he's looking for his friend Gavin. And if you actually talk to him, this is the conversation that you have.
Morning to you.
Listen, have you seen... I'm looking for my friend Gavin.
I don't know any Gavins, I'm afraid.
English bloke. Lovely fella. He went missing and now I'm all alone.
Good luck.
That's too bad. Gavin!
So this guy's character is called Gavin's friend. We later find out his name is Nigel, and he's looking for Gavin, an Englishman that he actually came to America with and that he can no longer find. And the details on his disappearance are a little fuzzy. We don't know if he left or ran away or what happened to him. Now, the important thing to note here, at least for this video, is the appearance of Gavin's friend. You guys can see that he is wearing a bright blue blazer and that he also has a mustache and that he has a hat. Now, I don't know what kind of hat that is, but you can kind of see it's this like tannish color with this sort of red ring or ribbon around the top. And I do feel like that is significant to his character, and you can see that he is a slim-built white male. So the location we're going to be checking out today is this house that you can see him wandering around. In Rhodes, he actually wanders around in a circle around this house, which makes this mystery even more suspicious that something is going on here. So again, the location we're talking about is this big white house. Now, the entirety of the house is not filled out, but there is one room in particular that we can actually get inside. So using the lantern and pistol glitch, we can actually go up to this windowsill here and try and get on the inside of the house. Now, I'm not going to lie, if you guys are trying to do this for yourself, this did take me a couple of tries to get in, so this was one of the more trickier locations, at least that I tried to get inside. There are some really easy ones, like some of the banks are super easy to get into, but this one was a little bit harder. So if you do want to try this for yourself, just note that it might be a little bit tedious. However, I was able to eventually get inside, and the first thing I noticed is everything seems very tiny in here. But there's one painting in particular that sort of stands out. And it's this painting right here, which looks to be a naked gentleman laying down in the sun. And what's interesting is it looks very similar to Gavin's friend. We can tell that that's a white male. He's got a big mustache. And I think the most identifying factor here would be the hat. It's almost an identical hat to the one that he is wearing, which again is very specific towards his character. So this inaccessible room that we cannot go inside has a photo of a naked sunbathing Gavin's friend, at least we think. So this begs the question, number one, is this Gavin's friend? Is this Nigel? Number two, who painted this? And does this have anything to do with Gavin? Now, in case you guys are curious as to what's going on in the rest of the room, there isn't really anything in particular that's all that interesting here. I said everything in this room looks like it's shrunken down, like it's for like an ultra small person. Maybe that's because Rockstar didn't expect anyone to be able to get inside here. The rest of the house is pretty barren and pretty blank. Like it's just a bunch of empty hallways, corridors. In fact, there's even some paintings that don't have any artwork inside of them. They're just picture frames. So again, this is an area that Rockstar, I believe, did not expect anyone to ultimately get inside. But that painting is incredibly interesting, and it has opened up so many questions that I am very much curious about. Now, you guys might also know this, but something you can get off of Gavin's friend is actually a letter that gives us more details. It's letter to Nigel from Tom, a letter from a friend in Berkshire, England. And it says this: "Dear Nigel, I was so happy to hear from you. I cannot believe it, mate. My two friends, you and Gavin, boys I grew up with, now real rich and successful cowboys in America. That's incredible news. Well done, mate. Seriously, well done. I knew you and Gavin would find success over there. I mean, it stands to reason. A pair of boys from little old Maidenhead, Berkshire, now successful over in America. I might come over and join you myself. Now that you two have done so well, both of you rich and living in big mansions with servants and all them cattle, I remember when the height of your ambition was pretending you were a Londoner and seeing if you fooled those Scotch boys we met by the barracks. Funny thing is, Gavin never mentioned none of this in his letter, but he always was a bit of a quiet one, and I reckon you wrote after he did. Either way, I am made up for the pair of you. Made up. Cowboys, millionaires, we miss you. Especially your mom, since your dad passed on, but she told me she was proud of you. Even Gavin's ma was happy. She said her usual piece about not thinking you had it in you, but she smiled and said she knew her boy would see sense or make sense of something eventually. Berkshire forever. Your pal Tom. P.S. I saw that bloke, Brian Gold, the other day in the market. He said some real odd things about you, which I said weren't true. Betty's laughing on the other side of his face now. ... So that's the letter. So it describes kind of an awkward relationship. So it seems that Gavin has also written this guy, Tom, but he described a completely different story than the one that Nigel is making up, which has to do with being a millionaire, living in a big mansion, being an outlaw, which he clearly is not. So this raises a ton of more questions. It almost seems as if Gavin left Nigel because he was either annoying or maybe because he was interested in what we saw in the painting. Now, getting back to the painting, and speaking of that, I thought I had seen this somewhere before, and it turns out I had. This was actually a painting that you can actually run into in one of these stranger missions, and it was actually painted by Charles Chatney. So in Chapter 4, you can run into a French painter, Charles Chatney, who paints people in a more delicate light, let's just say that. Essentially, he paints people not wearing any clothing and that are naked, and it looks like that he is actually the painter of this picture. So that begs the question, does Charles Chatney and Nigel, Gavin's friend, have some sort of, I guess, intimate relationship? Because we sort of found out that all of the people that Charles Chatney painted, he would get, let's just say, a little bit more closely involved with, if you can sort of read between the lines there. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe there's a unique side to Gavin's friend that we just don't quite know about yet, or that we just did figure out because of this painting from Charles Chatney. Now, the only other person I think this could be, if it's not Gavin's friend, is a character that you run into in either Chapter 5 or Chapter 6, in a mission called A Fork in the Road. This is the mission where Arthur's tuberculosis symptoms really start to flare up, and he collapses in the middle of the Saint Denis street, and he's actually rescued by a character known as the Good Samaritan. And the Good Samaritan looks very similar to Nigel, Gavin's friend. He's got the same complexion. He has the same mustache, the big like handlebar style mustache. He wears that same type of hat as well. It's almost identical. So it could be the Good Samaritan, but I feel like that would be a wasted opportunity for Rockstar to make it someone who only appears in one mission. But that is something to think about. It might not be Nigel at all. It might be someone totally different like the Good Samaritan. Now, the last thing I want to dive into today, and this is something that I haven't seen a ton of people talking about, who is Tom? So Tom is the person that writes Nigel, but we don't know how long ago he wrote Nigel. So I'm trying to think of significant Tom characters in game. You know, we see Tom getting yelled at by some lady in the Saint Denis bar, who I think is the bartender there. So that's one significant Tom. We also know that Tom is the name of Francis Sinclair's dad, and Francis Sinclair is the time traveler after all. So that's kind of an interesting wrinkle in this story. Tom also might be someone that we don't see or is completely insignificant. So again, that's just something to think about, but it does add another wrinkle into this story. But anyways, that's all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. Conrade, thank you so much for suggesting that I check this out. I had no idea that you could even go inside of this big old house in Rhodes, so that is pretty cool right there. Once again, if you guys want to send me suggestions for future videos or things that I should check out, or mysteries or theories that you'd like to bounce off me, my Facebook is in the description. You can message me there. You can send me photos, videos, whatever the case is. It's super easy to get in touch, and I typically do a pretty good job of responding as well. So let me know what you think about this mystery in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.